A new champion has been crowned in All Elite Wrestling, and 2 AEW stars have been attacked by a fan. But first, CM Punk thinks nothing will change in WWE. WWE has recently seen a huge restructuring at the top of the company, with Vince McMahon retiring due to allegations of sexual misconduct, with his daughter Stephanie becoming the full-time chairwoman and co-CEO, with Nick Khan becoming the other one, whilst Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, takes over as the head of creative. With many fans hoping that this could see big changes and improvements both on and off screen in WWE, one person doesn't think this is going to happen. Speaking at San Diego Comic-Con this week, AEW World Champion CM Punk would say that the toxic culture in WWE will not change, with him referencing the recent Sasha Banks and Naomi situation. And Punk would say, "I don't think the structure there, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think the culture there changes at all. I'll put it to you like this. Oh boy, people are going to be real mad about this, but F it." Mercedes, Sasha Banks and Trinity, Naomi leave. They announced on SmackDown that gosh darn, we are so disappointed in them. They really let our fans down. Brock Splits comes back, obviously, I think he worked the show, whereas Michael Cole saying Brock Lesnar really let these fans down. I walked out, they went on TV and called me a quitter. What's changed? What's the difference? You're going to attack these two poor women who had enough and walked. They have bigger balls than anybody there. What's changed? There's nothing much that has changed. There's people that talk about it and people who do it. The people that lick the boots and have the audacity to say that about those two women, effing cowards and bootlickers. This is ridiculous. Why didn't they do it to Brock? They did it for me. It's none of my business. As we know, Punk hasn't had the best of relationships with WWE management in the past, including new head of creative Triple H, with him making his feelings clear on the ongoing situation. But do you agree with CM Punk, and will WWE's culture stay the same? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Britt Baker wants a match with a former WWE superstar. In April 2018, former WWE Divas champion Paige would retire from wrestling following complications with a neck injury. With that said, she did remain under contract until July 7th, 2022, before her contract expired, with the company having no interest in renewing it. Despite the fact that she's been retired from in-ring action since 2018, Paige has been adamant that she's not done with wrestling just yet. Well, if that's true, she may have found herself an opponent in All Elite Wrestling, where former Women's World Champion Britt Baker could be waiting. Speaking with Sportskeeda this week, Baker would have praise for the former WWE star, having kind words for both her attitude and in-ring work, and she would say, "I'm a huge fan of Paige. I love her mom. I wrestled her mom before, actually. She's such an inspirational female. That girl has gone through it all, and she's still, pardon my swearing, but she's such a bad bitch. She has such a let everything roll off your back energy. You can't get to her. She holds her head high. Her in a wrestling ring again. If I am not in the match, I want to be at ringside watching it, because she was one of my favorites to watch. Her energy when she would come out and do the sideways skip to the ring, it made me so excited. I used to play her entrance music in my car. I'm a huge Paige fan." Whether or not Paige will be cleared to compete remains to be seen, but it's obvious that she has set it as one of her goals, with her no doubt having options with both WWE and AEW were doctors to give her the go-ahead. But would you like to see Britt Baker take on Paige, or should I say Saraya, somewhere down the road? Let me know in the comments down below. And next up, the next challenger for the interim AEW World Championship has been named. Last night, AEW would host Night 2 of the Fyter Fest episodes of Dynamite from Worcester, Massachusetts, with the show opening up with a match for the interim AEW title. Jon Moxley would put his belt on the line against former ROH World Champion Rush, who would show off his physicality throughout. But despite an impressive performance, Rush was unable to walk away as the winner, with Jon Moxley putting him away with a paradigm shift into a bulldog choke. This wasn't the end of the night for Mox, however, with him being confronted by the inaugural AEW World Champion Chris Jericho, the man Moxley defeated to kick off his first reign with the belt all the way back in February 2022 at Revolution. Jericho would state that he now wants his rematch, a challenge that was accepted by Moxley. With that said, he would insist that he doesn't want the current trademark whore version of Jericho, but he wants the Lionheart, the man he idolized on tapes growing up. Lionheart is the moniker used by Chris Jericho during his early days of his career, making a name for himself in Japan and Mexico. It looks like we'll see this version of Jericho in 2 weeks' time, with the match set for the Quake by the Lake edition of AEW Dynamite on August 10th. Next up, AEW Trios titles have been officially announced. Pretty much since the start of the promotion, fans have speculated that All Elite Wrestling were bringing in a belt to celebrate the best trio on the roster, with this being confirmed by both EVPs and AEW President Tony Khan on multiple occasions. Well, last night the wait was finally over after AEW would announce on Dynamite that the new championships are here, with the first champions set to be crowned at the All Out pay-per-view on September 4th, 2022. It was noted that there will be a tournament with the winner receiving the title belts, although the brackets have yet to be revealed at this point. It's worth noting that Tony Khan had previously said that he's waiting for the return of Kenny Omega before he introduces a Trios title, a further sign that the injured former AEW World Champion could be heading back this summer. But what do you make of the announcement of the AEW Trios titles, and does it signal the return of Kenny Omega? Let me know in the comments down below. And next up, Toronto, Canada is set to become All Elite. The Trios titles weren't the only announcement on last night's episode of Dynamite, with the promotion revealing that they are heading north of the border, with AEW set to make their Canadian debut. AEW would reveal that the October 12th episode of AEW Dynamite will take place at the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto, Canada, before the next night where they hold an AEW Rampage taping at the same hockey arena. Tony Khan would discuss possible Canada shows last month, with him revealing that they would be coming soon, and now we have the official announcement, which is great news for Canadian AEW fans. The Coca-Cola Coliseum has a capacity of roughly 8,000 seats, with AEW seemingly going for a conservative approach to their arena choice, at least this first time around, likely to test the waters. But will any of you be heading to the AEW Toronto shows? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, has a WWE return for Bray Wyatt just been debunked? Over recent weeks, mysterious vignettes have aired on WWE television, with them clearly setting up the return for the rated R superstar Edge. With that said, some fans have been digging through the videos frame by frame to try and find a deeper meaning, predicting that Edge will be joined by no other than the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. This week, Mike Johnson of PW Insider would speak of the plans for an Edge return, with him originally being scheduled for the Madison Square Garden edition of Raw this past Monday, although those plans were changed, and he would note, "In our Elite section, we reported that Edge and Beth Phoenix were both slated for MSG, but then later reported plans changed shortly after the Vince McMahon exit. The original plans had them also slated for SummerSlam weekend, but there's no word whether this is still happening or they are holding their return off for a later date." As you can see by the report, there is absolutely no mention of Bray Wyatt or The Fiend, with this being one of many reports from reputable outlets that have made no reference to Wyatt when discussing the Edge return promos, with him instead set to be joined by his real-life wife, Beth Phoenix. And next up, a new champion has been crowned in All Elite Wrestling. Earlier in the show, we'd see a second title match of the night, with Ricky Starks defending his FTW championship against internet sensation Danhausen, although it didn't last long for the man that's very nice, very evil, with Starks putting him away early with a Rochambeau spear. Ricky would then take to the mic and say he isn't done yet, and that he wants another challenger, before he was confronted by Team Taz teammate Hook, who is currently undefeated. In the end, it would stay that way after Hook applied the Red Rum submission, causing Absolute to tap out. This is Hook's first championship of his career, just 11 matches in, with his only matches taking place on AEW television. Until now, he has almost exclusively wrestled on AEW Rampage, perhaps where the belt will be housed going forward. This is no doubt destiny for the cold-hearted handsome devil who grew up with the FTW title in his living room, with it belonging to his father Taz. Taz would introduce the belt in May 1998, with this being a replacement for the ECW World Heavyweight title, with then champion Shane Douglas out of action due to injury. He would then bring it to AEW in July 2020, with all members so far being part of Team Taz at some point, with Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, and now Hook being the champion thus far. With that said, it seems that the group may be no more, however, as after the match, Powerhouse Hobbs would lay out Ricky Starks, seemingly setting up a singles feud between the former tag team, with Hook now likely continuing to go on his own path. What this means for Taz, however, remains to be seen. And finally, 2 AEW stars appear to have been attacked by a fan. Last night, after AEW Dynamite went off the air, the tapings for the next episode of Rampage would take place. During the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer would discuss what went down on the show, revealing that there would be a heel turn that took place, and spoiler alert, Lee Moriarty chose to align with Stokely Hathaway, who is currently the manager of Jade Cargill and the Baddies. Following the turn, a fan is said to have gotten so mad that they would get into a quote altercation with the new partnership, and Meltzer would say, "There was an altercation between Stokely Hathaway and Lee Moriarty and a fan as they were leaving, which I'm sure won't be on TV." This isn't the first time this has happened in All Elite Wrestling, as one fan tried to attack Chris Jericho during a segment last year with MJF, who was stopped by security before he could get into the ring. A similar incident would happen with Jon Moxley on his way to the ring through the crowd in 2020, although it's unclear if this was just an excited fan trying to get close to his favourite wrestler. Whilst no specific details are known on the latest incident just yet, it's likely that it will be cut from the final broadcast of Rampage this Friday. And before you go, make sure you check out every All In wrestler that didn't sign for AEW.